All right, very good. We're going to move on now to immigration and Robert. And we've just so you know, if you have any last-minute questions, but we're going to look at some audience questions when we get done here with immigration.
Representative Olson, a friend of mine asked me to give you this CD. It's called "They Come to America," and he said that even though you're a representative from Texas, that this is something you need to look at, and it's a docu-movie. I want me to hand this to you. Okay, there's a big difference between a Tea Party patriot and a GOP member, and I believe.
Nice trade, my friend.
I believe there's a pretty big chasm between the GOP and a Tea Party. And so I'm not going to cut you any slack. I'm not going to cut Marco Rubio and company any slack. Okay? And so my first question is one that I'm going to read to you because I think it's important that you hear the quote from Marco Rubio. And I want you to, and I got the question for you. So Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, a member of the Gang of Eight, who authored this bill. I'm talking about the Immigration Reform Act of 2013. He is quoted as saying, and listen to this, "For those concerned about the cost of immigration to the American taxpayers, we have a chance to make sure the bill lives up to its promise that today's illegal immigrants are not eligible for federal benefits." Bill's meant for them. But if you read on page 91 of the, I'm going to call it the IRA for Beverly, but in the section of the treatment of registered provisional immigrants, it says this: a non-citizen granted registered provisional immigrant status under this section should be considered lawfully present in the United States for all purposes. What is your opinion of this duplicitous language? Can we trust this government to do the right thing? And have you read through the 844-page bill?
Have not, because it's DOA in the House. That bill will not pass the House. It's a terrible bill for one simple reason. There are repeats of mistakes made in 1986. Right? The great Ronald Reagan, last president to get comprehensive immigration reform through Congress. His plan was make constant sense. We control our borders, and the people who are here illegally, put them on a path to citizenship, amnesty. We all know what happened. Our borders still aren't secure. So the first step to fix this problem is getting control of our southern border, our northern border, and our ports of entry. Pure and simple. I got attacked yesterday by some of what they call the dreamers about this issue. And I told them, we cannot fix this problem until we get control of our borders. Pure and simple. And if you see these people out there, just tell the truth. In 1986, there were 3 million people here illegally. So maybe 100,000 dreamers. That's ballooned up to, it was 15 million at the high point, it's down to 11 million right now. It's about 2 million people, dreamers. That's not progress. That's regression. That happened because we did not control our borders. They're still not controlled. The administration keeps saying over and over and over, our borders are more secure. Come down to Laredo, Texas. Come down to Brownsville, Texas. Our borders aren't secure. Drug trafficking still flows. Human trafficking still flows. We have to stop those flows before we do anything else with immigration reform, pure and simple.
Okay, question number two, you said that the bill was DOA, but I'm going to read triggers of this bill so that you hold his feet to the fire, okay? And I'm going to read, there's 6 triggers, and I'm going to read this to them so that they understand the question, and I want you to answer, okay? There are so-called 6 border security triggers. Listen to this, and there's one common theme to all 6 of these. You'll pick up on it. The first part is the border security plan. And it says, within 6 months of the bill's enactment, the Department of Homeland Security must create, fund, and implement a border security plan. Number 2, border fence. Within 6 months of the bill's enactment, the Department of Homeland Security must create, fund, and initiate a U.S.-Mexico border fence plan. Number 3, border security metrics. Within 5 years of the bill's enactment, the DHS must achieve 100% border awareness and at least 90% apprehension rates in high security, high risk, frequently crossed sectors of the U.S.-Mexico border. Yeah, I think you guys are catching on. Number 4, a border commission to implement a plan if trigger number 3 above fails. I want you guys to hold his feet to the fire in this. Don't let him vote for this. Number 5.
Do it, Robert.
Employment verification. Check this out. E-Verify must be universally used within 10 years of the bill's enactment. And number 6, an exit system to stop visa overstays within 10 years of the bill's enactment at international airports and seaports to stop immigrants from overstaying visas. The question, and you guys realize that everything is after the bill is enacted and it's way down the road. The bill, if passed, does not require anything to happen beforehand. Do you believe these triggers are reasonable and enforceable? Please explain why or why not.
I'm a text today, you guys, so I'll say, hell no.
Good for you.
They're not enforceable, they're just wishful thinking. In the same mistakes, the exact same mistakes made in 1986. Very simple. All those things happened with some sort of promise that would secure our border. 10 years is outrageous. Again, we can always address these problems first before this border is secure. And we got to build a house that Michael McCall, our Homeland Security Chairman from Austin, passed unanimously that get control of our border within 2 years. And that should be the trigger to anything else. Once that border is secure, it's not determined by Barack Obama and John Napolitano, whoever takes his place, but maybe by the governors, the jail, or some other independent agency. Because Obama's people are saying the border is secure. Again, come down, Mr. President, to Laredo, or Brownsville, or McAllen. You guys know Arizona stepped up to the plate as a state. They were the number one track there a year ago. About 1/3 of our crossing come through Arizona. They've shut that down without the federal government's help. But guess where they moved now? From Laredo down to Brownsville. The traffic's flowed across the our border. And that's Barack Obama's failure. Again, the Senate bill makes that exact same mistake we made in 1986. I can't support that bill. I won't support that bill. I'll support some sort of border security first, and then figure out what we can do later. We can't do anything until our border is secure.
Okay. So I guess on record you're saying no bill until we secure the border.
Yep, amen.
Great, thank you very much. All right, question number 3. As I see it, and many more likely see it, one of the main reasons the GOP is hesitant to get tough on the border security is because they, the GOP, believe the Hispanic voter will unilaterally, it's a Cuban, turn their collective back to the Republican candidates and elected officials if they vote against immigration reform. Do you agree with this premise?
No, not all. In fact, a couple points about that thing. First of all, there's a split in our country with Hispanic Americans about passing the citizenship. Actually, it's easy one there. I've talked to leaders throughout the community, and one example is the Great Eastern Partnership, Hispanic Partnership, or Great Eastern Chamber of Commerce, the largest Hispanic chamber in America. We have some point blank, does the path to citizenship have to be part of the bill, and then we're split. The only people in America who want path to citizenship are Barack Obama and the Democrat-controlled Senate. But again, we can't fix any of these problems until we secure our border. Pure and simple. And so again, the thing about the votes, we've lost those votes. We're starting from ground zero. We start from ground zero by sticking to our principles. Legal immigration. some sort of true guest worker program, where people come here to work and go back home. We had one in California, my mother-in-law was subject to, called the Sentinel program for farm workers. The same family came across for 10 years. In February for planting season, they stayed through September through harvesting. We went back home to Mexico. Came across legally. Guess what happened? Unions, Cesar Chavez, said we have to get control of those farm workers. And unionized them, that program got killed. And again, we have to secure a border, e-verify something like that for employers, that has to happen as well. And we have to get, as you mentioned, some control over overstays. Right now, 40% of our legal immigrants are people who got here legally but have stayed past their visas. We have to track these people. If you stay too long, you're going home. But again, nothing happens, none, until we get some control of our southern border, our northern border, and our ports of entry.
Byron York, which I'm sure you know who he is, chief correspondent with the Washington Examiner, did an extensive research in January this year after the election. And he came up with the numbers that it would have taken Mitt Romney to win the election by how many Hispanic votes he would have needed to win this election. Do you know what that number is?
Nope.
Does anybody know that number? 73% of Hispanic voters had to turn out to vote for Mitt Romney for him to win that election. The most votes that any president has ever gotten is 24%. That's W. The question I have for you is, do you think the Hispanic voter, do you know what the Hispanic voter wants from you?
I think so, but I get involved in the community. And one thing too about what we're doing terrible as a party is get a message out to these the Americans. And we have the right message for Hispanics. I mean, most of these, they're hard workers, strong family, strong faith. Those are our values. And the Democrats have hijacked them and taught them that they're their party of prosperity. We're that party. Now how we do that is engage. Talk to them, speak to them, let them see our values. I've been in Univision twice. I was on there last week. Not attacked, stood firm, said border security, border security, border security. They played it over and over and over. Get that message out. We're not being hostile. We're just telling people the truth. We got to learn our lesson. I've said it over and over. 86 was a big mistake. You can't make that mistake again. The Senate bill does just that. And that's why that bill is DOA in the House.
Part of the Immigration Reform Act has what they call W visas. These are for those workers who are lower wage workers, housekeepers, landscapers, construction workers. The question is, how would the Homeland Security keep up with these people going under the radar and not returning back to their country of origin?
The way we do that is the e-verify system, where employers have to verify somebody's here legally as part of employment, give them a job. I mean, that's what we do. We drive the job market, this thing stops. But first, before we do that, we have to get the border secured. So we stop the problem here, freeze it, and start dealing with what we have here in America. Right now, it never ends. It just keeps coming across and coming across and coming across. It keeps changing. We're always going to be behind.
Yeah, but the guest worker visa, the W visa, if they don't get employment, the employer can't e-verify them. How do we keep up with those people? If they're not employed, you're not e-verified.
Yeah, tough challenge.
What's the plan?
Not sure the answer is. We have to do that though. Again, that's another problem with the Senate bill. It has this wishful thinking, we'll get these people over and we'll track them. We've proven that 40% that come here illegally right now, we lost track of them. The first step is getting control of borders. And don't forget the northern border. It's a bigger border. More people are going across from the south, but sometimes they'll just come through to go to the north. One thing about our southern borders too, we should be really concerned about is Iran. Raise your hand if you know that about 2 years ago it came out that Iran has drug cartels on the speed dial. They tried to engage in a plot to kill the Saudi ambassador in D.C. So Iran, trying to nuke a weapon, is having conversations with the people who approach and come across our border. Again, another reason why we have to get control of our borders, pure and simple. That has to be the first step. I know I sound like a broken record, but we made huge mistakes in 1986. The things we're trying to fix today happened because of those mistakes. And the Senate bill repeats them over and over again.
Okay, I have two quick questions. We're going to close. I don't have much time. If you were king for a day, and you, King Olson, and not King Obama, by kingly decree could fix the illegal immigration issue, what would be your top 3 decrees?
Well, number 1 is secure the border. Pure and simple. Number 2 is the E-Verify system. Pure and simple. And some sort of tracking system for the people who come here legally, no sending visas.
Does the E-Verify come with a penalty to the employer?
No, it's E-Verify. That's the point of the system is to give those guys a chance to determine whether that person is here legally, or some sort of card like an ID card, and then you can find out later that the person was here illegally, can't hold liable. They did everything that they could under law to determine that person's citizenship status. So hold them harmless. We have to encourage them to go after that. Because we shut off the jobs, it's a big part, shut off the flow things across the border. But again, we have to get control of it to stop the drug smugglers, human traffickers, and all that stuff that's coming across the border on check 3. We'll start verifying and then, tracking here. People coming illegally.
Okay, last question, and I'm done. And this is important because you said that it's DOA. Harry Reid assured that if the bill goes to conference, he said, we will get amnesty. The question is, are you for or against going to conference with the Senate bill, regardless of what the House passes? Why or why not?
No, the Senate bill is a terrible bill. We opened that door. It's a bad path to go down. Our concern, as we talked about the spending bills, if we pass the border security bill and send it over to the Senate, they might hook all this stuff up on the bad bill and send it back to us. So we're trying to figure out what's the best step going forward, because our mechanism where they can force a vote in the House if something doesn't happen in the Congress committee up there, they can force a vote. We're very concerned about that, because that is a terrible bill. Terrible, terrible, terrible bill. And so that's why I've been a little hesitant. But again, we make sure that we're going to put something forward that won't become a Christmas tree, as we call it, hang us all this garbage on, and it gets control of our borders first. Again, I can't say that enough. Huge mistake in 1986. We're dealing with that mistake right now. Let's stop it. Get control of our borders.
Thank you, Congressman.
All right, very well. Very good. Thank you all.